We're going to start with Minnesota. I find this story, it's interesting. Cable news is obsessed with it. TV in general is obsessed with it. And I don't mean obsessed in a pejorative way. They're covering it extensively, I should say. And newspapers less so. In part because some stories lend themselves more to video. There's still a ton we don't know. And again, this program is modeled on the network news division's morning meetings. And in those meetings, in a situation like this, typically they would go to a correspondent or a producer who was kind of the central point person, who knew all the facts, right? And to sort of run through. We expect protests today. There's no indication that the ICE presence in Minneapolis has declined overnight, despite the colorful request of the mayor. So that'll be an unpredictable dynamic throughout the day. There was a memorial last night for the woman who was killed. There's so much we don't know. And I read widely on this overnight and into the morning. What was that woman doing there? What was she doing? And what interactions did she have with ICE? The ICE secretary suggests, the Homeland Security secretary suggests that she was engaged in harassment or interference with the mission. I've seen no specifics about that. Then the videos, as compelling as they are, what happened after the shooting? How long was she there in that car? We've all seen the video and the stills of her out of the car, but I've seen no video or reporting of who picked her up out of the car. And we know that at least one doctor seemed to have wanted to assist and was declined the opportunity to assist. A lot of unanswered questions is my point. So we're going to do our best, as we did last night on Two Way Tonight, to talk through what we know. I will tell you, and if there's somebody in the community here who can defy what I'm about to say, please aggressively raise your hand. I can't find a single person who voted for Donald Trump who thinks that this was the fault of ICE. And I can't find a single person who voted for Kamala Harris who doesn't think that woman was killed inappropriately. Not one. And that makes no sense. The media's coverage of this is unfortunately, the dominant media is unfortunately biased. It just is, because there's compelling video evidence that makes the case for the ICE position much stronger than if you don't show the video of the car hitting the officer, the ICE official. If you don't show that video, widely available, then you're not really telling the full story. It's not the whole story. There's culpability on both sides, just as there's culpability on both sides amongst the politicians. But I am flabbergasted and not surprised that many of the traditional media on television doesn't show that part of the story.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the Two-Way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.